It was a busy afternoon in the city. The sun was shining bright, and the streets were full of people. In one of the most popular and expensive stores, Amina, a black woman in her late 20s, walked carefully between the aisles. Her eyes were full of hope, but also a little tired. Amina had been saving money for months to buy a warm coat for the coming winter. Her old coat was torn and thin, and every cold night made her shiver. Today she was finally ready to buy something nice for herself. She held her small purse tightly and looked at the coats hanging on the racks. The store was full of expensive clothes, shiny shoes, and luxury bags. People were shopping happily, picking things from the shelves. But Amina felt nervous. She was not used to coming to such a rich place. Her clothes were old, and she thought people were looking at her strangely. As Amina moved slowly towards the coats, the store manager, Mr. Imran, was watching her from a distance. He was a tall man with a stern face and sharp eyes. When he saw Amina, his face changed. He frowned and whispered to one of the workers, "Look at her, she looks like trouble." Amina did not notice this. She chose a soft brown coat, felt its warm fabric, and smiled for the first time that day. She walked towards the counter with the coat in her hands, but before she could pay, Mr. Imran quickly came in front of her. "Excuse me, madam," he said, loudly so everyone could hear. "We need to check your bag." Amina was shocked. She looked around and people stopped what they were doing to stare. Her heart beat fast. "Why? I haven't done anything wrong," she said quietly. Mr. Imran ignored her. "Please come with me to the office." Amina felt a cold wave of fear. She had never been treated like this before. She followed Mr. Imran silently, her head low. The customers were whispering. Some looked angry, some curious. In the office, Mr. Imran asked Amina to open her bag. She slowly unzipped it. Inside, there was only her purse, a small wallet, and some personal things. Nothing was missing from the store. But Mr. Imran was not satisfied. He said, "We found some missing items in the store today, and you were the only one near that section." Amina's eyes filled with tears. She felt her face burning with shame. She looked down and said, "I did not take anything. Please believe me." Suddenly, one of the workers came in and said, "Sir, the security guard saw someone else running away from the store." Mr. Imran looked annoyed, but did not say sorry. Instead, he called the police. Amina sat on a chair, feeling very small and scared. She could hear people outside talking about her. Some called her a thief. She wanted to explain, but no one was listening. When the police arrived, they asked Amina many questions. She told them her story, how she had come to buy a coat, how she had saved money, and how she had never stolen anything in her life. But the police officer looked serious. They needed proof. While the questioning went on, Amina kept thinking about her family. Her mother was sick, and her little brother needed medicine. If she lost this money, how would she take care of them? The fear in her heart grew. Outside, the crowd was growing. People were watching, whispering, and some even recording videos on their phones. The situation was becoming tense. One woman said loudly, "She looks poor, but poor people do bad things, too." Another man said, "We must wait for the truth." Amina felt tears running down her cheeks but did not cry out loud. She hoped someone would believe her. She hoped justice would be done. The police decided to take Amina to the station for further investigation. She was handcuffed gently but firmly. The crowd gasped. Amina walked out of the store with her head held low. Mr. Imran looked satisfied but also a little worried. He wondered if he had made a mistake. As Amina was taken away, a young man in the crowd watched quietly. He felt something was wrong. Who was the real thief? Why was Amina treated like this? Suspense hung in the air. Was Amina really guilty? Or was she just a victim of misunderstanding and prejudice? What would happen next? The story of Amina, the black woman accused falsely, was just beginning. Amina sat quietly in the police car. Her hands were still shaking from fear and sadness. She looked out of the window at the busy streets passing by. People were walking, smiling, and living their normal lives. But for Amina, everything had changed in a moment. At the police station, the officers led her inside. The room was cold and plain, with bright lights and empty walls. Amina's heart pounded loudly. She had never been here before. She did not know what would happen next. The officers asked her to sit on a wooden bench. One officer, named Farid, seemed kinder than the others. He looked at Amina and said softly, "We just want to find the truth. Please tell us everything you know." Amina took a deep breath and started explaining. She told them how she lived in a small, crowded house with her mother and little brother. Her mother was sick and needed medicine, but they could not afford it. She worked long hours at a small cafe, but the money was never enough. She told them about the coat. "I saved money for many months to buy it. I wanted to protect my brother from the cold," she said, tears coming to her eyes. Farid listened carefully. He could see the pain and honesty in her eyes. But the other officers were less convinced. They said, "We have a report of theft. Someone saw you near the missing items." Amina repeated again, "I did not take anything. Please check the cameras. I was only looking for a coat." Farid nodded and said, "We will check the cameras. But first we need to ask some more questions." The questions were hard. They asked about her job, her family, and even her friends. Amina answered all with calm, but inside she was breaking. After a while, Farid said, "There is one more thing. We found a stranger's phone number in your bag. Whose is it?" Amina was surprised. She looked inside her bag but could not find any phone number. "I don't know," she said honestly. Farid wrote down her answers and said, "We will look into this. You will stay here for a while until we find the truth." Amina was taken to a small room with a chair and a table. She sat alone, thinking about what would happen next. The hours felt like days. She missed her mother and her little brother. She prayed that someone would help her. Meanwhile, at the store, Mr. Imran was on the phone. He was talking to the police and the store owner. "We must be careful. This can hurt our store's reputation," he said. The young man who saw everything outside the store was still watching. He wanted to help Amina but did not know how. Back at the police station, Farid started watching the security cameras from the store. Slowly he saw the video from earlier that day. The cameras showed Amina walking quietly, looking at coats. But then, a different person appeared on the screen. It was a man running quickly out of the store with some clothes in his hands. Farid stopped the video and called the other officers. "Look at this. Amina is not the thief. See this man? He ran away, not her." The officers were shocked. They needed to find this man. Meanwhile, Amina waited anxiously in the small room, hoping for justice. Outside the station, a small crowd had gathered. Some people held signs saying, "Justice for Amina." Others talked about how easy it was to judge someone by their looks. The young man decided to step forward. He told the police what he had seen. The police thanked him and promised to find the real thief. Amina heard footsteps outside her door. Farid came in with a smile. "Good news, Amina. You are free to go. The real thief has been caught." Amina could not believe her ears. Tears of relief and happiness filled her eyes. She stood up and thanked Farid with all her heart. As she walked out of the police station, the cold air felt warm. The sky was turning dark, but Amina felt hope for the first time in days. Her fight was not over, but now she knew she was not alone. After Amina left the police station, her heart was still heavy, but filled with a small hope. She knew she was free, but the damage had already been done. People had seen her as a thief. How would she clear her name in the eyes of the world? Back in the city, news about the incident started to spread quickly. Some people felt sorry for Amina, but many still whispered behind her back. The store's manager, Mr. Imran, was angry. He didn't want to admit his mistake, but he couldn't deny the evidence now. Meanwhile, Amina returned to her small house. Her mother was weak, but still smiling when she saw her daughter. Amina held her baby brother close and promised herself she would protect them no matter what. Days passed, and Farid, the kind police officer, kept checking the case. He wanted to help Amina more. One evening, he called her and said, "We found something important. The man who really stole from the store has a history. He has done this before." Amina listened carefully. She felt both scared and hopeful. "Can you catch him?" she asked quietly. "We are trying," Farid said, "but we need your help too." Amina agreed. She remembered something strange about that day. A man had been watching her closely in the store. He looked nervous and kept moving near the exit. Maybe he was the thief. With Farid's help, Amina gave a detailed description of the man. The police started searching for him everywhere. At the store, the real thief was unaware of the police search. He was hiding in a small apartment, worried and waiting for the right time to escape the city. One morning, Amina saw the news on television. The police had found the thief and arrested him. The news showed the man in handcuffs. Amina's heart beat fast. Justice was finally coming, but the story didn't end there. Amina was invited to the store by the owner for an apology. The owner said, "We are sorry for what happened. We want to make things right." Amina felt mixed emotions. She wanted to forgive, but the pain was still there. She took a deep breath and said, "Thank you for saying sorry. But I want people to learn something from this. Don't judge others by their looks." The owner agreed and promised to change the store's policies. Word spread about Amina's strength and courage. People admired her for standing up even when the world was against her. Farid and Amina became friends. He helped her find a better job and supported her family. Amina's story became a symbol of hope for many who faced injustice. But the hardest part was still ahead. Amina had to heal the wounds in her heart and rebuild her life. One cold night, as she looked at her sleeping brother, she whispered, "We will be okay. Together." The journey was long, but Amina was ready to face whatever came next. After the arrest of the real thief, life seemed to get a little easier for Amina. But deep inside, she knew her problems were not over yet. The world outside was still watching her closely. Not everyone believed in second chances. At her small house, Amina tried to live quietly with her mother and baby brother. She worked hard every day, saving money to give them a better future. But the whispers and cold looks from neighbors made her feel lonely and small. One afternoon, while Amina was working in a nearby cafe, a man came in. He was tall, wearing a dark coat and hat. He looked at Amina with eyes full of questions and something else, curiosity mixed with doubt. The man introduced himself as Jamal, a reporter for a local newspaper. He said he wanted to tell her story. "People should know what really happened," he said. Amina was unsure. She had been hurt by people before, but something in Jamal's voice seemed honest. She agreed to meet him the next day. That night, Amina couldn't sleep. She thought about her past, how her life changed after that false accusation. She thought about her mother's weak smile and her baby brother's innocent eyes. She wanted to do something that could change her life and maybe help others like her. The next day, she met Jamal in a small cafe. He listened to her carefully as she told everything, from the moment she entered the store to how the police helped her and the pain of being judged wrongly. Jamal nodded and said, "This story can make people think differently. It can teach them not to judge by appearances." Amina felt hope growing inside her, but not everyone was happy. After the article was published, some people praised Amina's courage. Others, however, sent cruel messages. The store manager, Mr. Imran, was furious. He said the newspaper was lying and threatened to sue them. Amina's phone rang many times with harsh words. She felt afraid for the first time in weeks. Then, one evening, while she was returning home, a car followed her slowly. Her heart raced. She took a deep breath and walked faster. Luckily, the car soon turned away. Amina knew she was in danger. She told Jamal and the police. They promised to protect her. The incident made Amina stronger. She realized that speaking the truth was not easy, but it was necessary. Days later, a community meeting was held in her neighborhood. People gathered to talk and listen. Amina stood in front of everyone, holding her baby brother's hand. She spoke with courage. "We all have stories. We should not judge each other by looks or money. We should help and understand." Her words touched many hearts. Slowly, people began to change. Neighbors who once ignored her now smiled and said hello. Some even offered help. Amina felt a small light in the dark tunnel, but inside, she still had many questions. Would the pain of the past ever leave her? Could she truly trust people again? As Christmas approached, Amina prepared a small gift for her mother and baby brother. She wanted to make this holiday special. That night she looked out at the stars and whispered, "This is only the beginning. I will fight for a better life." The cold winter wind blew, but inside Amina's heart, a warm hope was growing. The days after the community meeting were different for Amina. People began to see her not as the accused woman, but as a strong person fighting for her family. Slowly, the coldness around her home started to melt. One morning, as Amina was walking to the market with her baby brother in a small stroller, she noticed a flyer on a wall. It was about a free training program for women who wanted to learn new skills and find jobs. The program promised to help poor women start a better life. Amina's heart beat faster. Could this be her chance? She decided to join. The first day was full of nervous excitement. She met many women, each with her own story of struggle and hope. The trainer was kind and encouraging, and soon, Amina felt she was not alone anymore. At the training center, she learned new skills like sewing and making crafts. She was a quick learner. Her hands worked carefully, stitching pieces of cloth into beautiful patterns. She dreamed of opening a small shop one day where she could sell her creations and support her family without fear. Meanwhile, Jamal, the reporter, kept checking on her. He became a good friend, helping her whenever she needed. One afternoon, Jamal brought surprising news. "There is a foundation that helps women like you," he said. "They heard your story and want to support you." Amina could hardly believe it. She went to meet the foundation's leader, a kind woman named Mrs. Khan. Mrs. Khan listened to her story and promised to help with money and advice. For the first time, Amina felt real hope for the future, but old fears still lingered. She was afraid that Mr. Imran, the store manager who had accused her, might try to harm her or her family again. One evening, while she was preparing dinner, she heard a knock at the door. Her heart jumped. She looked through the window. It was a neighbor, smiling and holding a basket of food. The neighbor said, "I heard about what you are going through. We want to help you. You are not alone." Amina felt tears in her eyes. Kindness was slowly returning to her life. As weeks passed, Amina's skills grew. She started making bags and clothes at home. With Mrs. Khan's help, she planned to open a small stall in the local market. The community was changing. People began to understand the pain caused by false judgments. Some even apologized to Amina for their earlier behavior. One day, Amina received a letter from the police. They wanted to talk to her about Mr. Imran. It seemed there were new complaints against him for treating customers badly. Amina felt nervous, but also brave. She knew she must stand strong. On a bright morning, she went to the police station and told everything she knew about the store manager. The police promised to keep her safe. As she walked out, Amina saw Jamal waiting for her. He smiled and said, "You are stronger than you think. This is your new beginning." Amina smiled back, feeling a warm light inside her heart. She looked at her baby brother sleeping peacefully in her arms and whispered, "We will be okay. I promise." The winter days were still cold outside, but inside Amina's home, hope and courage were growing stronger every day. Life was slowly getting better for Amina. Her small stall in the market was opening soon. She worked hard every day, sewing and making bags, clothes, and small crafts. The neighbors started visiting her stall. Many were kind and supportive. Some even bought her things. Amina's baby brother, little Sammy, was getting stronger too. The days of hunger and fear were fading away. But deep inside, Amina could not forget the pain she had faced. Every time she saw Mr. Imran's name in the news, her heart beat faster. The police had started investigating him for his bad behavior, but she still felt scared. One cold evening, as Amina was closing her stall, she noticed a shadow near the street. It was too dark to see clearly, but her heart told her something was wrong. She hurried home, holding Sammy tightly. That night, she could not sleep. The fear from before was coming back. She wondered if Mr. Imran would try to hurt her again. The next morning, Jamal came to visit. He was worried. "Amina, I heard that Mr. Imran has been spreading rumors about you in the market. People are talking badly. We need to stop this." Amina nodded. She knew she had to be strong. She wanted to protect her baby brother and herself. Together, they went to the local community center. Jamal spoke to the people, telling them the truth about Amina. He showed the proof from the police about Mr. Imran's wrong actions. Slowly, people began to understand. Many apologized to Amina for listening. To rumors, they promised to support her. But not everyone was happy. A few men who worked with Mr. Imran came to the market and tried to scare Amina. One day, her stall was vandalized. Some of her handmade things were broken. Amina felt hurt, but did not give up. She cleaned the mess. With help from her friends, she put up a sign, "I am here to work honestly. Thank you for your support." The community started helping more. A local woman gave Amina extra cloth to make more products. A shopkeeper lent her a small space to keep her things safe. Meanwhile, the police were working hard. One afternoon, Amina was called to the station again. The officers told her that Mr. Imran was arrested for cheating customers and harassment. It was a relief, but Amina knew the road ahead was still long. At home, Amina looked at little Sammy sleeping peacefully. She whispered, "We will be safe now. I will protect you no matter what." Days passed. Amina's stall became popular. She smiled more. Her hope grew stronger. One evening, Jamal sat with Amina and said, "Your story is powerful. People need to hear it. You are inspiring many." Amina smiled shyly. She never thought her pain could help others. She knew that life was still full of challenges, but she was no longer alone. With friends, family, and her own courage, she was ready to face whatever came next. The sun was shining brighter than before. Amina stood in front of her small stall, watching people smile as they bought her handmade bags and clothes. The market was lively, full of colors and laughter. For the first time in many months, she felt peace inside her heart. The long struggle was not easy. She remembered the painful days when she was accused wrongly, the shame and the fear. But now, those dark times seemed like a distant memory. Jamal was by her side, helping her every day. He became more than just a friend. He was her strength and hope. Little Sammy was growing fast, learning to walk and laugh. Mina's heart was full of love. One afternoon, as she was closing the stall, a tall man in a suit came walking toward her. Amina felt nervous for a moment, but then she saw his kind eyes. "Hello, Amina," he said softly. "I am Mr. Khan, from a charity organization. We heard your story. We want to help you and your brother." Amina blinked in surprise. She had never expected such help. Mr. Khan told her about a program that could teach her new skills and help her start a small business. Tears filled Amina's eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. "I want to work hard and give Sammy a good life." The days that followed were filled with learning and hope. Amina attended classes where she learned sewing, designing, and managing money. She met other women with similar stories. They shared their dreams and supported each other. One evening after class, Jamal took Amina's hand. "You have come so far," he said gently. "I believe your future will be bright." Amina smiled. She knew it would not be easy, but she was ready. Winter came again, but this time Amina and Sammy were warm inside their small home. The neighbors brought gifts for Christmas and celebrated with them. For the first time, Amina felt she belonged in. Day. A reporter came to the market and asked Amina to share her story. With courage, she told how she was falsely accused, how she fought against the lies, and how kindness saved her life. Her story spread quickly, inspiring many people. Letters of support arrived from all over the city. Some offered jobs, others offered friendship. Mr. Imran was sentenced to jail. Justice was done. Amina knew it was not just her victory, but a win for everyone who faces unfair judgment. As she looked at little Sammy playing, Amina felt a deep peace. The past had tested her, but it also made her stronger. She was no longer afraid. She whispered a promise to herself, "No matter what happens, I will keep fighting for a better life, for Sammy, for me, and for all who need hope." The market buzzed with life, and Amina was ready to shine. Her story was a message of courage, kindness, and never giving up. And so a new chapter began, not just for Amina and Sammy, but for everyone who believes in second chances.